There's a right way and a wrong way to respond to criticism. Here's a good way to respond to criticism right here, and here's the wrong way to respond to criticism. When a reviewer has valid criticisms of a product, that's what you want. You don't want them to keep that stuff inside of them. You don't want them to lie and sugarcoat things in order to secure pre-production samples. Stuff like that taints the water. How is anybody supposed to trust reviewers on YouTube whenever they're just not saying any valid criticisms? Any criticisms that they have, they keep them inside, or they make them out to not be so bad. They choose to see everything through rose-colored glasses, and that's not what you need when you're trying to figure out, oh, am I gonna spend $1,000 here, $2,000 there? You don't need somebody sugarcoating all the negatives of a product. This is a comment from the Apollo City Pro review. That was not a positive review, and this is the correct way to respond to valid criticism. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go through each point that I have a problem with on the scooter one more time, and I'm gonna tell you not just what's wrong with the scooter, but what you could do to make things better. First off, we need to stop taking inspiration from bicycles. We have bicycle grips right here. We've got bicycle brakes right here. I'm not against bicycle brakes or bicycle bells, but this scooter seems like it's inspired by bicycles and cell phones. Instead, let's look to motorcycles. Let's look to Japanese motorcycles for inspiration. So our grips, they should be bigger around. They should be like motorcycle grips. Our brakes, they should be hydraulic. There's no exception for this. This thing weighs like 80 pounds. That is too much weight for mechanical brakes. You can't have one blinker over here and one blinker over here. You can't have your mode button right next to your blinker. Also, these buttons, these are just unacceptable. All of this is all unacceptable. You need like good buttons. I don't know how else to describe it. These are not good buttons. Go look at motorcycles. Think like early 2000s motorcycles. With these levers, you see how there's that little gap? Your skin gets caught in there. That's not cool. As far as this regen paddle goes, if you want to have this, fine. This cannot substitute for your actual brakes. This can only be supplemental. Further to the point of looking to motorcycles for inspiration, the straight bars are not the most comfortable. You need to have like maybe a little angle. On this side, you cannot be reaching past buttons in order to get to your throttle, because what'll happen is you end up hitting this button and it puts you into walk mode. Really, thumb throttles just aren't acceptable under any circumstances. What you're gonna end up doing is you're gonna end up gripping it like this. You know what that is? That's a fucking twist throttle. So just give us a twist throttle in the first place. I should not have to reach past any buttons. Nothing should be right here. These buttons, I don't care where you put them. Get them out of here though. For your turn signals shouldn't be buttons. Turn signals should be a lever like this that you push one way or you push the other way and then you press down to cancel. Cruise control, that should just be a button. When you get to the speed that you want to go, you press the button, now you're on cruise control. You tap the brakes, it brakes the cruise control. There really is no other valid alternative to that. You see this headlight? This needs to be freaking bright, like hella bright. As bright as a headlight on a motorcycle. When it comes to safety on electric scooters, one of the most common failure points is somewhere between the locking mechanism and the welds down here. The integrity of your stem needs to take priority over everything. You cannot have any stems break, ever. They should never break. I don't care if this has to be one solid piece. I don't care if you have to make it fold halfway up like the Segway GT1 and GT2. You wouldn't have it bashing on the tail back here. I don't need to be able to pick up my scooter by this hook. I don't think that's a necessary feature. On smaller scooters where people are going to be taking them on buses, fine. On a bigger scooter like this is not meant to go under your seat on the bus. Even if you fold it, it's still gigantic. So just have it fold up here anyways. If your scooter has a Reddit post where the stem is breaking, you need to go back to the drawing board and come back when it's impossible for it to break. This suspension is geometrically weird. This is like a shopping cart caster wheel, but it's backwards. It naturally wants to spin the other way. Instead of doing that, just give me forks. Give me forks and a regular axle and a regular wheel, and give me a proper rake so that the geometry is correct. I don't want a backwards caster wheel. Wheels and tires. Give me bigger wheels and tires. For 1,800 bucks, I want to see 11-inch tires. I want to see 12-inch tires. Give me something big. When it comes to suspension, just give me hydraulic shocks. come up with some kind of geometry where you can fit hydraulic shocks. Brakes. Drum brakes are never going to stop you as fast as disc brakes. This scooter weighs too much to be using drum brakes. In an emergency situation, you need your freaking scooter to stop. You need to be able to lock up your wheels. With these drum brakes, it's not easy to reliably lock up your front and rear wheels if you need to. Sometimes they lock up, sometimes they don't. Look at this fender. You see how this fender is not between you and the wheel? That means that you're gonna get hit with water. So give me enough room to give me a proper fender. Put the fender up here, just do something to stop water from going up here. You see right here? That's where water can go, right up there. For some reason in the scooter community, the conversation is between single motor and dual motor. And I don't really understand why, because when you're talking about cars, you're never gonna be talking about all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive as far as power goes. You're gonna be talking about all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive as far as traction goes. That's where the conversation comes into effect. Why are we talking about, dual motor scooters are more powerful? That's not even true all the time. Look at the GT1. It's faster than tons of dual motor scooters. I think that's a better direction for the industry to go. I want to see more powerful single motor scooters instead of dual motor scooters being the norm. I'd like to see these turn signals become taillights also. I'd like them to be linked up with this so that when this blinks, whatever this light is doing, I'd like these to be doing the same thing. And again with the suspension, just give me hydraulic shocks, whatever it takes. Take the time to engineer the best product you can and charge whatever it costs. When it comes to charging scooters, I want to be able to charge these things up like hella quick, super duper quick. Why do I have 30 amp charging on my cell phone, but only like 3 amps on this scooter? If there's something I'm missing, let me know in the comments below, but I want these things to charge quick.